To remain updated with the latest business news, click on the bell icon.
Well, I'm here at the Business Today MPW event, and on the sidelines, I have an awardee, and shall I say, a shark. Vineeta, thanks so much for joining us here on Business Today. Firstly, before I get to all the numbers and everything about Sugar Cosmetics, how has life changed for you and Sugar after the show?
This show has done phenomenally well, and I'm very grateful because I think it's creating this big revolution of entrepreneurship in smallest of cities. And when I first became an entrepreneur back in 2007, it was considered a career for those who were unemployed and didn't have any other option. Suddenly, you're seeing all these smart, intelligent, amazing people wanting to get into entrepreneurship because it's become aspirational. And I'm really grateful for Shark Tank as a platform to make that happen.
We've been talking today about role models and breaking the bias. It's Women's Month. Now, you're someone, even before the show and after the show, a lot of people look up to. I was asking them a question on stage earlier. Do role models have to be gender specific or they could be gender agnostic? What are your thoughts?
So while role models can be gender agnostic, I do feel that in role models also representation matters. Because every time somebody like a Falguni goes up there and does an IPO and, she has this backstory of where she's carrying that entire load of the decision making at home and being able to balance both of that and breaks the biases around women can't be ambitious enough, women can't, be hustlers. When that happens, I think it's a bigger inspiration for younger women who look up to her. So in my opinion, having women role models is very special because there are many things we grapple with, which is very hard for a male mentor or role model to really connect with. So I see this in my organization. We have a lot of young women. We have more than 2,000 women at work. And all these young women, when they see me fumbling with my little 6-month-old at office and, looking imperfect, trying to balance both, they realize it's not about perfection. It's just about following our heart and doing our best. So,
that's a fantastic picture that you actually drew out over there, because we were talking about breaking stereotypes earlier on in one of the panels. Now, since, the audience really knows you from all the sharks that sat with you on that show, and they also run big companies. Is this something that perhaps would percolate with their organization as well? Because at the end of the day, Vineeta is one of them, is part of that fraternity.
Yeah. So I feel that the good thing about Shark Tank has been that 3 out of the 7 of the decision makers were women. And so I do feel that overall as a platform, 48% of the funding went to women. And that's a fantastic thing. I feel that, the whole culture of not questioning women for very obvious things like what will you do after you have children, etc. is going away. At least the conversation around is happening. So I do feel it's percolating. The results in terms of enough women getting funded, seeing enough women in workforce, which is as low as 25% now, that going up to at least a 30-40%. I think that's going to take another decade, but it is percolating. And I feel that it's going to, the next decade is going to belong to women entrepreneurs and to amazing women in workforce.
You're talking about Sugar, and Sugar has really managed to maintain its USP since its inception. Now when there's increased competition, a lot of brands trying to get into the same space, how do you at Sugar and how does the team really manage to maintain that distinctiveness, that USP going forward?
Yeah. So I think the USP of the product is just one part of it, but what we're even more proud of is the community we've built. So every month we're able to reach 40 million women because on all the digital platforms from Instagram to YouTube, we're the fastest growing brand and we have a very, very active community of women engaging. So they trust the brand to tell them what's best for them in terms of beauty, and India is still a nascent beauty market. So I feel that before you reach their wallets, you have to reach their heart. You have to connect with the consumer, teach her, you have to inspire her. And I feel that Sugar spent a long time doing that. And while somebody may try to copy a product, but the community is something that we feel will help us stay ahead in this game.
And for everyone watching and all the fans of the show as well, can we expect, a fundraise from an international firm for Sugar anytime in the near future?
Yes, absolutely. It's actually in the middle of a Series D fundraise. And of course, it's an international fund. I hope we'll be able to break the news soon, yeah.
So if you do break the news, it's going to come first on India Today, on Business Today. But also for all, well, you mentioned role models and how it's important sometimes for a woman to have a woman as a role model. And there were panelists who also beg to differ, but I appreciate all those opinions. What's that one message for a lot of girls tuned in right now who look at you as a role model? And since we are at the MPW Awards, what is that one message from your end?
I'll just say that never, ever, ever be apologize for being too ambitious, because when you think big, that's the only way that you can really make big stuff happen. And I feel that that's the one thing I could make every single woman I mentor do, is think much bigger and have full faith in her abilities, because I know women can make the best entrepreneurs, the best managers, the best leaders.
So well said. And this was a fascinating chat with Vineeta Singh of Sugar. As sweet as it gets, as amazing as it gets. Thanks so much, Vineeta, for joining us on Business
Thank
Today.
you. This was fun. Thanks a lot for this event.
Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.